Hello students. Yesterday we talk about a topic that is physiology of the urine formation. But in today's session we will study now. We are particularly talk about the composition of the normal urine, counter current mechanism, and the dialysis. Means some short notes is short. Just write a note on in your syllabus in your paper. There is a write a note on for the 5 marks questions, or just the comments on the following for the 1 marks question. Such kind of questions are present. So in today's session from this second unit we will study now, that is the composition of the normal urine, counter current mechanism, then dialysis, and then now after in today's session our second unit, that is excretion unit, will finish, and then from next lecture we will study the next topic, that is structure of the nephron. Okay, and the types of the nephron. We'll start the next unit. So what is a counter current mechanism? Counter current mechanism means, just it is a one I already explained in last period it. The microscopic structure of nephron consists of the loop of Henle, descending loop of Henle, and the ascending loop of Henle. Okay, so this is a descending and ascending loop. This one is descending and this is the ascending. So descending loop is permeable to water, means give permission to water. Water passes from descending loop to peritubular capillary network and impermeable to salt. Permeable to water, and impermeable to salt in descending loop. Understand what I mean to say? This is descending loop, this is ascending loop. So it is permeable to water, impermeable to salt. So tubular fluid here is hypertonic, that is concentrated. Most of the salt are present here and water can pass here. But in case of the ascending loop, is permeable to salt and impermeable to water, means water is stored here and salt is passed from loop to peritubular capillary network, means here fluid is hypotonic. Here fluid is hypo means dilute fluid, and here fluid is hypertonic. Hyper means concentrated. Okay, so this counter current mechanism proposed by the scientist Berliner in 1958, which is useful for the to determine the nature and the movement of the urine. In descending loop of Henle, the movement of the urine is downward direction, and in ascending loop of Henle, the movement of urine is upward direction. And nature in descending loop, nature is hypertonic, and in ascending the nature of urine is hypotonic, and this is the counter current mechanism only. Understand? And then now what are the subnormal and the abnormal constituent of the urine? So this is a composition of the normal urine. Urine contain 1.2 to 1.5 liter urines produced per day. So there is a nature pH of the urine is acidic 4.8 to 7.5, average 6.0, 97 to 98% water present. Vegetarian diet increase the alkalinity of the urine. Color is pale yellow due to presence of pigment called the urochrome. Urochrome is produced from the dead RBCs. Lifespan of RBC is about 120 days. After 120 days, RBC is dead, and from the dead RBCs produce a yellow color pigment. This is the urochrome. Why? What is the nature of the why the yellow? Why the color of urine is yellow? Because due to the presence of pigment urochrome. How this urochrome produced? Urochrome is produced due to the dead RBCs. The lifespan of RBC is about 120 days. After 120 days, RBC is dead, and from the dead RBCs produce a pigment called the urochrome, and the color of urine is due to urochrome. Urine has a one specific pungent smell due to this urinode. Okay, then specific gravity is 1.03 to 1.04, slightly heavier than water. Man is ureotelic animal, so our urine contain 2.5% urea and small amount of interest uric acid. Glucose is nil in normal constituent. These are the normal composition of urine. And in abnormal composition, there is a glucose is present, because the reabsorption of glucose occur completely. If there is a concentration of concentration of glucose exceed 180 mg per 100 ml of blood. We generally, what I mean to say, the reabsorption of glucose occur completely, but its concentration ranges from 150 to 180 to 180 milligram per 100 ml of blood. 100 ml of blood. Understand? Reabsorption of glucose occur completely, but its concentration ranges from 150 to 180 mg per 100 ml of blood. So it is generally normal, but this concentration exceed 180 per 180 mg per 100 ml of blood. Then this not reabsorbed by PCT, and in such condition that increasing glucose are excreted along with urine, and that condition known as the diabetes mellitus. This is a disease that is called the diabetes mellitus. Okay. Then again, inorganic constituent, water 1 to 1.5 liters, sodium chloride, then calciums, ammonia, potassium. These are the some inorganic constituent. Abnormal constituent, these are the some abnormal glucose, albumin, RBCs, ketone bodies, microbes, pus cell, cast cell. These are the abnormal constituent of the urine, and this is the normal and the abnormal constituent of the urine. Understand, student? This is a subnormal and the abnormal constituent of the urine. This is a page not properly seen here, so I will show it in next lecture again repeatedly. Send in your group also. Okay, student? So then now start the dialysis. What are the dialysis? What are the dialysis? Next, this is the diagram showing here the dialysis. This is the dialysis. Okay. What is the dialysis? Di means dissolution, and lysis means loosening. Means in case of the kidney failure, acute kidney injury or total kidney failure, chronic kidney disease, the person doctor recommended to the patient that is a dialysis. So dialysis is also called the artificial kidney. Dialysis is the artificial kidney. Di means dissolution and lysis means through pass or loosening. So what is this dialysis? A machine used to filter the blood of person whose kidneys are damaged and are called the artificial kidney, or it is also called the hemodialyzer. Okay. So the process is called the hemodialysis. It works on the principle of dialysis, that is dissolution of small solute through semi-permeable membrane. Okay. So I will show here diagram, the process of dialysis. So during this process, blood of the patient is taken out from an artery and cool at 0 degrees Celsius. Blood is taken and mixed with an anticoagulant, that is heparin, and then form into artificial kidney. Anticoagulant, what is anticoagulant? The blood is already liquid in state. Blood, after some minute, blood loses its liquid state and set into semi-solid mass, and this semi-solid mass known as the blood coagulation or the blood clotting. But in the natural blood is not coagulated in the blood vessel, because in the blood vessel there is a natural anticoagulant is present, that is heparin. Okay. So in this mechanism, there is a blood is taken from the artery and cool at 0 degrees Celsius, then mix with anticoagulant like heparin, and then pump into the artificial kidney, means in this through this hemodialyzer. In this mechanism, blood flows through the channels or tubes bounded by the cell membrane or cell phone membrane. The membrane is impermeable to micromolecules like plasma proteins, but permeable to small molecules like urea, uric acid, creatinine, and mineral ions. The cell phone membrane separates the blood flowing inside the tubules from dialysing fluid outside the membrane. And so as the blood flows through the tubules, the microscopic waste particles like urea, uric acid, creatine diffuse out in dialysing fluid across the cell phone membrane. Okay, understand? Initially blood is taken from the artery, then mix cool at 0 degree Celsius, then mix with anticoagulant and pass into hemodialyzer. So that hemodialyzer again wrapped by the, then there is a in this mechanism blood passes through the channels or tubules which are bounded by cell phone membrane. So micromolecules which are impermeable to that cell phone membrane, but some substances, that is small molecules such as urea, uric acid, and creatinine, these are the nitrogen containing substances which are passed through that hemodialyzer. And in this way, the cell phone membrane separate the blood flowing inside the tubules from dialysing fluid outside the membrane. And as the blood flows through these tubules, microscopic particles like urea, uric acid, creatinine diffuse out in dialyzing fluid across the cell phone membrane. The blood thus purified is warm to again body temperature, because initially when that blood is taken from the artery, so which cool at 0 degrees Celsius, so which again warm at body temperature and mix with anti-heparin, because initially we have to mix with the heparin, that is anticoagulant. So now mix the anti-heparin, means to cancel the effect of the heparin, to restore its normal coagulation, and then pump into the body of patient through the vein. Means blood is taken from the artery and pump into the body of patient through the vein. And in this way the dialysis is an imperfect treatment, because it does not replace the endocrine functions of the kidney, because in mechanism of urine formation or the kidney formation, there are so many different hormones are involved, because ADH are the hormones which are secreted from the posterior part of the pituitary gland. ADH, antidiuretic hormones, which is useful for the absorption of water in blood. The next hormone is aldosterone. Aldosterone is secreted by adrenal gland, which is useful for the absorption of salt, Then again calcitonin, parathormone, these are again some hormones. Renin, which plays a very important role in mechanism of the urine formation. But dialysis is not the imperfect, is called the imperfect treatment, is not a perfect treatment, because it does not cover the endocrine functions of the kidney, means glands not involved here and hormones not involved, and that process of the mechanism of urine formation not fully operated or proceed with the help of some hormones also. So it is the imperfect, therefore called the imperfect treatment, and in this way separate the some unwanted nitrogenous substances from the body, because the patients having end stage renal disease, means kidney disease, having the acute kidney injury or kidney failure. So in such condition the patients have to be survive for about some years on this dialysis. So hopes this you have to properly read it very carefully, and in case of any problem, so please discuss with me. Thank you student for this today's session. Thank you very much.